Hey guys, welcome back to AJ Tech. So today I'm going to be teaching y'all the basics of Java. And first of all, we need to get the JDK. So you can go into Google Chrome and look up Java JDK. And then go to the Oracle website and download the latest one. So right now it's Java 17. Pick whatever device you use, and personally I use the installer right here. And then download it and install it. I'll have a link to this website down below. And the IDE I'm going to be using is Visual Code Studio. And I think it's really good for beginners. It helps you understand. It can be used for many languages. So I recommend downloading that and installing it also. And I'll have a link to that down below. So after installing Visual Code Studio, just go to it from here. And we're gonna make a new file, which here you would just go to File, New File, or Control N, and then we're gonna Control Save it. Pick where you're gonna do it. I have a folder called Java Code, and make sure that it's called capital MAIN .java. So main.java. Make sure that's what it is, because Java is really strict on the file names based on the classes and everything. Just make sure to keep it the name of the file the same as the name of the class. But for now, just keep it main.java with a capital N. So after doing that, the first steps of coding that I'm gonna go through is going through the simple formatting. So type class main, and y'all probably don't know what that is yet, but we'll get there. And put the brackets. Of course, these brackets are very important. And then inside of that, you're gonna want to write public static void main, and then open parenthesis, close parenthesis, and then brackets again. So the thing in Java is anything between these two brackets right here, everything in the space between these two brackets inside of the void main is the thing that's going to be run, actually showed in the output in the terminal and everything. So we can run a quick command to see if everything's working well. So if you have all this down, type System.out.println or println, and then open parenthesis, close parenthesis, and we can type a 10 in there and just see. And then of course always save and then run. Oh yeah, I forgot one thing. You need to do right here, you need to have string and then open bracket, close bracket, and then args. That's very important. You're gonna run into an error if you do not have that. So once you have this, you can make sure everything's working by running. And the output is 10, so we know that everything went through. So yeah, here's the basic program right here. So first of all, I want to get into some of the basics. So in Java, there's something called a variable, and one of the simplest variables is called an int. And a variable can be called whatever you want it. So you can call it x, you can call it y, it can be anything, aj, whatever. And then you set it equal to, since it's an int, it has to be an integer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, any number that's a whole number that's positive. So we can set it equal to 10. And in Java, every line of code needs a semicolon in the end. So we have here the variable aj, which is an int, equal to 10. And we can do the System.out.println again. System.out.println, which is println. And then we can put aj in that, and we can run it and see it should print out 10. Okay, cool. A cool thing you can do with the like variables is, let's say for example we want to do aj2. So we can do int aj2 equals aj plus 2 or something. And because they're both ints, it'll work flawlessly, and you can print out aj2, and you would just be adding the value of aj, which is 10, to 2, and then you should get aj2, which should be 12. And we can see, and voila, we got 12 right here. So an int is just one type of primitive. So in Java there's two types of things, like two types of data. There's primitives and there's objects. And the difference is that primitives, let me write this in a comment. By the way, to do comments, let me delete everything. So to do comments, what you do is you do forward bracket, forward slash, and then you can, that line becomes just a comment, everything after the forward slash. So, okay, so let's look at primitives. So primitives, let's do it. Alright, take up less space. They include ints, so int, double, int, which can be like 1, 2, 3 whole numbers. Alright, floats, or doubles, which can be 1, 1.1, 2.3, anything like that. They can be booleans, which are true and false. True, false, those are the only values that boolean can be. And there's a couple other ones, but the main ones for now are double, int, and boolean. The main ones we're going to talk about today. And an object, those are take up more space. But they are more powerful. So like an example is a string, and that's let's say like words and everything. You can have like hello or something. But anyway, I need to get that out there right now because like the difference between these is very important in Java, because they're incompatible sometimes and you have to go through methods and stuff like that. Anyways, we can move on. So the double, I was talking about doubles. So let's say we have double y. That can be 1.01. And then if we have double x equal, let's say 10.2, we can do double z equal to y times x, and the answer should be a double since both of them were doubles. So since that both of the variables that are being multiplied are doubles right here, the answer will be a double. So we can print this out and see. So there's System.out.print, and then there's System.out.println or ln, and the difference is one of them prints on one line, and the ln leaves the line till the next statement. I'll demonstrate that in a second. Okay, so let's say we print out z. It should be a double also. Let's illustrate. So yeah, we got 10.302 for the answer for these multiplied. So the thing I was trying to say is, let's say we had print, just print without the ln. For one print statement, it's gonna look the same. But let's say we were printing out all three of these. So z, x, and y, or let's do x, y, and z. If we have it as a print statement, they're gonna be like on the same line, just printed right after each other. But if we add the print ln, if we add the ln to it, let's see, they will be separated by line. So you can see here 10.2, 1.01, and 10.302. And that's why I usually use print line, but print also has sometimes its use cases. Alright, so we've discussed doubles, we've discussed ints. I want to talk about booleans. So for booleans, you can do boolean, let's say AJ cool, for example, and we can set that equal to true. And if we print that out, that should print out true. Let's see though. This out, it should just print out the, yeah, it prints out the the string of the value. So the uses for booleans, there's so many uses, but one use is, let's say you want to have if statements. So let's introduce if statements. So if statements are like statements that manage whether a piece of code is going to run or not. So let's say you have if AJ cool is true. Anything, so if whatever's in between the parentheses is true, it's going to run this piece of code right here. So let's say if AJ is cool, let's print AJ is cool. Alright. And let me get rid of this. Alright. So if we run this, we get AJ is cool because it sets it true. But let's say we set it to false. What do you guys think is gonna happen? Well, it doesn't print anything. And it's because this statement is set to false right here. So it won't like run anything since it only runs if it's true. If anything between these two parentheses is true. And when I say that, I'm saying that because sometimes you can have like what's it called? Like you can have like operations in there. Like let's say let's do this. Let's get rid of this. Let's say we had int x equal to 10. We can have an operation here that says if, and then we can do x is greater than 9, print this. So it's gonna look at x, put that into here, and then is 10 greater than 9? Yes. So it's gonna print this out, and we can prove that right here. And yes, it's printed. But let's say we have 9. Let's change this to 9. Is 9 greater than 9? I'll let you answer that. And this is the code that comes out. Nothing. Because it's not, so it's just not going to run. And if statements have two more parts that could be added to them. There's the else if statement that you can add. And let's say you had, if it's greater than, x is greater than 9, do this part of code. And let's say it's not, it does the else if. So let's say x is less than 9, do this part of this piece of code. And I'm just going to copy and paste the system right here. And let me, and I'll say AJ is partially cool. and you can have spaces in here, it doesn't matter. But this will probably not run anything because 9 is it's not greater than, but it's not less than 9 either. So there's something else you can do. The third part of else statement that you can add is else. So else is just if this part isn't true, if this part isn't true, then this is this is the default. If nothing's true, it just runs this part. And we can say let's take this. We can put AJ is okay or something. And as y'all can see, it's gonna run that because this is false, and this is the default. So if everything else is false, it just runs this. And the cool thing about the else if that I forgot to mention is you can have like as many as you want else ifs. So let's say you want to put like 10, you can have that, like there's no problem with that. But of course, if they're the same thing, only the first one's gonna get, like if they have the same statement in them, the first one's the only one that's gonna run. But everything else, as long as they're different, their statements are different, you'll be fine. Like they'll have different use cases, I guess. So we can have if x is greater than 9, if x is less than 9, if x is equal to, which is, you do it this way, this means equal to for primitives. If x is not equal to 9, which will almost always be true if this isn't true. It will always be true if this isn't true. So yeah, we can try this out and see what happens, because once something runs true or is true, nothing else is like executed. So let's say for this one we're gonna get to here and this is true because 9 is equal to 9. So everything else is just skipped and you're done, like it's done. So we can run this and see. Let's change this. Let's change these to the name of it. Oh shoot. Okay. Equal. Not equal. Just put else. Less than. And greater than. Okay. And let's see. And we get equal because it went through this false, false, true, runs this, and everything else is just skipped. And there's one more thing I wanted to say about these is that you can have a like greater than or equal to. That's the thing. You just add an equal after the sign, so you can have a greater than or equal to, and you can also have a less than or equal to. So if we do this, of course this first statement's going to be true because 9 is greater than or equal to 9, and it's going to run greater than, even though, like, yeah, this part right here. And I think this is gonna sum it up for the first part because I don't want to overwhelm y'all. So let me know in the comments what else y'all want to find out, and I'll probably make a part 2 to this in the near future. And hopefully this helps getting introduced into Java, and see you in the next one.